Now the last stop on our adventure here is to actually output this as HTML files or even potentially upload it directly from Adobe Muse. So let's go explore the publish area. There are basically three options available to us. And you do need to click on the arrow versus the publish button. And I'll tell you why here. Because you have the three options. If I was to just click the publish button, it would execute the currently checked off option. And this was apparently the last thing that I used, and that's why it's set to export as HTML. The other two options are going directly to your FTP host or to the Adobe Business Catalyst website. And to do that one, you do need to have a current Adobe ID, an account. So let's go to this one, which is probably the one you'll most likely use. At any rate, you should do this one, I think, even if you do the other two, because it actually saves your files locally. So again, we're going to choose Export as HTML to start. And what it asks you is to establish the site URL, which I'll tell you can be fake for the sake of outputting this. But if you have one, put it in. And most importantly, establishing the location for these files to be saved. So if I click on locations, I do have a folder for these lessons here, but I will create a new folder inside of my lessons folder, and I'll just call it output underscore root, and click create, and click choose. And I'm ready to go now, and as soon as I click OK, it's going to generate a whole slew of files for us. You can see that we're getting 14 pages. And it's giving me a little warning that my email address doesn't match the server name. Now, that's not necessarily an issue, and we won't go into that right now. It doesn't do anything, or it doesn't stop us from publishing this site. Now I can go view site, and I think it'll pop it up in a browser. And it indeed has. So I'm looking at it in Chrome right now. There we go. Just going to quit Chrome. And that's how you output your file. So let me actually go out to the Finder here. And I'll call up a new window. And I know those files are in my documents, Muse lessons. And this was the folder, so let's go in there. And here's the website that got generated. So these are all my HTML files. Here's my home page, the index.html, and my subfolders containing my cascading style sheets. And you can see one for each page, and there's a master and a site global. And then my scripts, that's all my PHP and my JavaScript. And my phone pages. So when somebody goes onto this website, there is an auto detect built in, created by Muse, that will tell the website if it's a phone or a desktop or potentially a tablet, and then it will load the appropriate pages. So that's pretty cool, considering we didn't have to do any coding whatsoever. And there's your website right there. And again, if I double click index, it would launch it in the browser locally, and we would get to experience that site locally. So again, I'll quit that, go back to Muse, and that's how you export as HTML. If you already have an account existing, it's super easy here. You can go to FTP host, you would put in your server name, your username, and your password, and you're off to the races. But this is assuming you've already established an account with a web server provider. There are other options here, but really just these three should work most of the time. And then the last option I'll show you is the Business Catalyst. And I would type in my site name. I'm just going to say Beer 1. And that will be the URL, beer1.businesscatalyst.com. I do have an account, so I'm going to try this here. Okay. And hopefully this won't take too long to publish. There it goes. Once it's uploaded to Business Catalyst, it automatically loads in your browser. And you can see this is a genuine website live on the internet. So if you do have an account with Adobe, take advantage of this. It's basically for testing purposes, but it is a URL and it is a live website. I go to video. There's my YouTube video. And again, contact. Actually, let me try this now that I'm here on a real website. DJO lessons, and I'll just put my contact at djolessons.com, and message, I'll just say testing 1 2 3 and hit submit. Form received. So that's sent. So I can go to my mailbox now and I should see that message with those particulars in it. And again, my map is live as well. Alright, so I'm going to quit Chrome. And I can just close this. And again, those are the methods we use to publish coming out of Adobe Muse. The one I do insist that you try is the export as HTML and save those files, please. And that's the lesson on outputting using Muse.